Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to report about Republic Act 10175. But before we proceed, let us first feel the presence of the Lord.
In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. Amen. In the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Good day, everyone. I'm Bernadette Ronyo from Team Matapat.
My name is Hannah Mariel A. Escalona.
I'm Paul Joshua Aguilar.
I'm Marluis Onso Jr. from Team Matapat.
Good day, everyone. My name is Rosario D. Casilag.
I am Stephanie Lee Freires.
I'm Cyrene Azel Custodio.
Hi everyone, my name is Shaina Angelca G. Gutierrez from Team Matapat.
Hi, I'm Mark Aldrin B. Matias.
I am Jen Paolo Siestoya, and we are the Matapat Group.
Hello everyone, we are here to discuss the Republic Act number 10175, also known as the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012. It is an act of cybercrime providing for the prevention, investigation, suppression, and imposition penalties therefore and for other purposes. This act is a consolidation of Senate Bill number 2796 by the former Senator Edgardo Angara and House Bill number 5808 authored by Susan Yafsulin of the 2nd District of Tarlac. This was finally passed by the Senate and House Representatives on June 5 and 4, 2012 respectively. It was signed into law by the former President Benigno Aquino III on September 12, 2012, and its original goal is to penalize acts like cybersex, child pornography, identity theft, and unsolicited electronic communications in our country.
So we would like to present the Republic Act number 10175. So we will explain to you what is this act all about. So it is an act defining cybercrime, providing for the prevention, investigation, suppression, and imposition of penalties and for the other purposes. So let's start with the Chapter 1, the preliminary provisions. So Section 1, the title. So this act shall be known as the Cybercrime Act of 2012. So Section 2, Declaration of Policy. So the state recognizes the vital role of information and communication industries such as content production, telecommunications, broadcasting, electronic commerce, and data processing in the nation's overall social and economic development. So the state also recognizes the importance of providing an environment to attain free, easy, and intelligible access to the delivery of information, and also to protect the integrity of computer and communication systems, networks, and databases from all forms of misuse, abuse, and illegal access by making punishable under the law. So the state shall adopt sufficient powers to effectively prevent and combat such as offenses by facilitating their detection, investigation, and prosecution at both the domestic and international levels. So Section 3, Definition of Terms. So for the purposes of this act, the following terms are hereby defined as follows. So the first term is access. So access refers to the instruction, communication with, storing data in, retrieving data from, or otherwise making use of any resources of a computer system or communication network. So the second term is alteration. Alteration refers to the modification or change in form or substance of an existing computer data or program. Letter C, communication. So communication refers to the transmission of information through ICT media, including voice, video, and other forms of data. Letter D, computer. Computer refers to an electronic or other data processing or communications device. It covers any type of computer device like mobile phones, smartphones, computer networks, and other devices connected to internet. So, letter E, computer data. Computer data refers to any representation of facts, information, or concepts in a form suitable for processing in a computer system. Includes electronic documents and electronic data messages, whether stored in local computer systems or online. Letter F, computer program. So, it refers to a set of instructions executed by the computer to achieve intended results. So, letter G, computer system. It refers to any device or group of interconnected or related devices. It performs automated processing of data. So, the device is consisting of hardware, software, that may include input, output, and storage components which may be connected in a network or other similar devices. So, letter H, without right refers to either 1, conduct undertaken without or in excess of authority, or 2, conduct not covered by established legal defenses, excuses, court orders, justifications, or relevant principles under the law. Letter I, cyber. So, cyber refers to a computer or a computer network, the electronic medium in which online communication takes place. J, critical infrastructure. So, it refers to the computer systems and networks, whether physical or virtual. So, the interference with such system and assets would have an impact on security, national or economic security, national public health, and safety, or any combination of those matters. Letter K, cybersecurity. So, it refers to the collection of tools, policies, risk management approach, actions, training, best practices, assurance, and technologies that can be used to protect the cyber environment and organization and users' assets. So, the next term is database. Database refers to a representation of information, knowledge, facts, concepts, processed or stored in a formalized manner, and which are intended for use in a computer system. Letter M, interception. So, interception refers to listening to, recording, monitoring, or the content of communications, including procuring of the content of data, either directly, through access and use of a computer system.
Illegal access is the access to a whole or any part of a computer system without right. Legal interception is when committed intentionally, the interception without right made by technical means of non-public transmission of computer data to or from within computer system. Seeks to protect the privacy of non-public computer data transmission from monitoring and recording. Data interference is when committed intentionally the damaging, deleting, deterioration, alteration, or suppression of computer data without right. Includes inputting of malicious codes. For example, is viruses that can threaten the integrity or use data or programs. System interference. Person commits the criminal offense by inputting, transmitting, damaging, deleting, deteriorating, altering, and suppressing computer data. Example for this is the denial of service attacks and viruses that stop or slow the computer systems. Misuse of devices. When he or she, without right and with the intent that a device be used for the purpose of committing the criminal offense of illegal access to a computer. Number 1 is access devices including computer programs. Number 2 is computer passwords, code, and other access data. For the purpose of committing a cybercrime, access devices with legitimate use are generally not contraband unless the primary purpose of is illegal. Squatting, the acquisition of a domain name over the internet in bad faith to profit, mislead, destroy reputation, and deprive others from registering the same if such a domain name is. Another one is computer-related fraud. It is when committed intentionally and without right, causing a loss of property to another person by any input alteration, deletion, or suppression of computer data, and interference with functioning of a computer system. This includes economic crimes such as online credit card fraud. Computer-related identity theft. Identity theft is an act of a person obtaining information illegally about someone else, such information. Example of this are full name, maiden name, address, date of birth, social security number, and credit card.
Cybersex is sexual organ or sexual activities with aid for computer system, for favor or consideration used for gratifying and sexual gratifying activities. Child pornography, any visual depiction of sexually explicit involving the minor and or 18 years old, less than 18 years old. For example, there was a family was poor and her mother talking somewhat the foreigner or Arabo, something like that. And the foreigner and the Arabo saw her daughter, not mother. Then the mother and the Arabo talk about that daughter. Then mother talk her daughter about Arabo and the foreigner. Then she speak and she confront the Arabo and the foreigner. First, they're using her daughter to have a money. Libel is a written and published false statement about someone that damage their reputation. This is what you call this is in short fake news. They're making a story that's not true. For example, the people outside that I'm pregnant but I'm not. And then the aiding or abetting in the commission of cybercrime. For example, this is what you call this is bugaw-bugaw in Tagalog. Budol-budol pala rather. Budol-budol. Someone is talking to you but trying to catch your attention. And then the other kasagti of the budol-budol is robbering your bag, stealing your bag, inside your bag, your wallets, like cell phones. Attempt in the commission of cybercrime. Any person who will fully attempt the commit any of the offenses enumerated in this act shall be held liable.
Chapter 3, Section 8, Penalties. Number 1. Any person found guilty in Section 4A and Section 4B shall be punished with imprisonment and a fine of 200,000 pesos, but if the punishable acts in Section 4 are committed with critical infrastructure, the penalty reclusion temporal or a fine of 500,000 pesos. Number 2. Any person found guilty in Section 4A, Number 5, which is misuse of devices, shall be punished with imprisonment or a fine of 500,000 pesos. Number 3. Any person found guilty in Section 4C, Number 1, shall be punished with imprisonment or a fine of 200,000 to 1 million pesos. Number 4, any person who found guilty in Section 4C, Number 2, which is the Anti-Pornography Act of 2009, shall be punished with penalties, and it shall be 1 degree higher than the provided for Republic Act Number 9775 if committed through computer system. Number 5, any person found guilty in Section 4C, Number 3, shall be punished with imprisonment and a fine of 50,000 pesos.
Act committed falls within the scope of such an authority to exercise control within the juridical person. The juridical person shall be held liable for a fine equivalent to at least double the fines imposable in Section 7 up to a maximum of 10 million pesos. In criminal law, corporate liability determines the extent to which a corporation as a legal person can be liable for the acts and omissions of the natural persons it employs. When any of the punishable acts herein defined are knowingly committed on behalf of or for the benefit of the juridical person.
Chapter 4. Enforcement and Implementation.
Section number 10. Law Enforcement Authorities. The PNP and the NBI is responsible for the effectiveness and efficiency of the provisions of this Act, and by that, they are also responsible for assigning a cybercrime unit or special investigators to exclusively handle the case involving the violations of this Act. Section 11. Duties of Law Enforcement Authorities. They are responsible for the investigation of the cybercrimes, and they are required to submit irregular reports including the pre-operation, post-operation, and the investigation results, including documents, data, as it may required to DOJ for review and monitoring. Section number 12. Real-time collection of traffic data. In this section, law enforcement authorities is authorized to collect and record e-traffic data, which only refers to the communications origin, time, date, size, and type of underlying service, but not content nor identities. Section 13. Preservation of computer data. Content data shall similarly preserve for 6 months from the date of receipt of the order from law enforcement authorities. Office prosecutors shall deem a notification to preserve the computer data until the termination of the case.
Section 14. Disclosure of computer data. Law enforcement authorities shall issue an order requiring a person or service provider to disclose or submit a subscriber's information such as relevant data, information, traffic data, and even control within 72 hours from receipt of the order in relation to a valid complaint, official doc, and assigned for investigation. Search, seizure, and examination of computer data. In this section, search and seizure is properly issued. But the law enforcement authorities shall likewise have the following procedures or powers and duties, such as securing a computer system or computer data storage medium, retain a copy of those computer data secured, maintain the integrity of the relevant stored computer data, conduct forensic analysis or examination of the computer data storage medium, and lastly, to render inaccessible or remove those computer data in the access computer or communications network. Law enforcement authorities may request an extension of time to complete the examination of the computer data storage, but in no case for a period longer than 30 days from date of approval of the court.
Section 16. Custody of computer data. In Section 16, it discusses about all the computer data like content and traffic data. it should be examined under a proper warrant within 48 hours. Also, in section 16 includes the law enforcement authorities need to ensure that all package deposit should not have duplicate or copies of the whole neither part of it. Section 17. Destruction of computer data. Section 17. The law enforcement or service provider must immediately and completely destroy or delete the computer data subject of a preservation and examination for the privacy and safety purposes. Section 18. Exclusionary rule. Section 18. All evidence without a valid warrant or not approved by the authority shall be inadmissible or will not be accepted for any proceeding before any court or trials. Section 19. Restricting and blocking access to computer data. DOJ or Department of Justice shall issue an order to restrict or block to such as computer data because it is for the privacy and security. Section 20. Non-compliance. In Section 20, it is for those who had failure to comply the law of provision as of Chapter 4, Section 10 to Section 19. It will be punished as a violation of Presidential Decree number 1829 or the penalizing obstruction of apprehension and prosecution of criminal offenders with imprisonment.
The jurisdiction under Chapter 5, Section 21 of Republic Act 10175, in which the violation was committed by a Filipino regardless of the place of commission. The jurisdiction shall lie if the violation is committed in the Philippines, and more often by using the electronics. For example, the victim is inside the country and the criminal is also at the country, and the jurisdiction shall lie. The international cooperation under Chapter 6, Section 22 of Republic Act 10175, in which there is the cooperation of the international or the other country. This is like the extension of Section 21, in which it is only in the Philippines. But here in Section 22, the criminal or the victim is in the other country and committed by use of the electronics. For example, the victim is in the Philippines and the criminal is in the other country. So the domestic law will lie.
Chapter 7. Competent Authorities. Section 23, Department of Justice. This is hereby created in Office of Cybercrime within the DOJ, designated in all central authority in all matters related to international mutual assistance and extradition. To be followed by Section 24, Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center. This is hereby created within 30 days from the effectivity of this Act, an interagency today to be known as Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, under the administrative supervision of the Office of the President, for policy coordination among concerned agencies and for the formulation and enforcement of National Cybersecurity Plan. The next is Section 25, Composition. The CICC shall be headed by the Executive Director of the Information and Communications Technology Office under the Department of Science and Technology as chairperson with the Director of the NBI and vice person the Chief of the PNP, headed of the DOJ Office Cybercrime, and 1 representative from the private sector of academia. The next is Section 25, Powers and Functions. The CICC shall have the following powers and functions. 1. To formulate a national cybersecurity plan and extend immediate assistance for the suppression of real-time commission of cybercrime offenses through a Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT. Second, to coordinate the preparation of appropriate and effective measures to prevent and suppress cybercrime activities as provided for this Act. Third, to monitor cybercrime cases being banded by participating law enforcement and prosecution agencies. Fourth, to facilitate international cooperation on intelligence, investigations, training, and capacity building related to cybercrime prevention, suppression, and prosecution. Fifth, to coordinate the support and participation of the business sector, local government units, and non-government organizations in cybercrime prevention programs and other related projects. And the next is to recommend enactment appropriate laws, issuances, measures, and policies to be followed by, to call upon any government agency to render assistance in the accomplishment of the CICC's mandate tasks functions. And last but not the least, to perform all matters resulted in cybercrime prevention and suppression, including capacity building and such other functions.
Chapter 8, the final provision. Section 27, Appropriations. The amount of 50 million pesos shall be appropriated annually for the implementation of this Act. Section 28, Implementing Rules and Regulations. In 90 days, the said government agency shall formulate rules and regulations for its effective implementations. Section 29, Separability Clause. Even if there are any provision of the Act is invalid, the other provisions are not affected and still valid. Section 30, Repealing Clause. According to Section 33 of Republic Act number 8792, the Electronic Commerce Act, all laws, decrees, or rules that are uncertain are hereby repealed or modified. Section 31, Effectivity. It will take 15 days for the Act to be effective after the completion of its publication in the Official Gazette or at least 2 news